Hi, everyone. Welcome to Living Hypnotically, where we explore the benefits and application of hypnosis with professional hypnotists. I'm Erika Flint, professional hypnotherapist, author, trainer, and welcome to Living Hypnotically. Today, we have an exciting guest who is specializing in past life regression. Let me tell you all about Derek Condit. As a certified hypnotherapist, Derek uses hypnosis as a therapeutic tool to help individuals access their subconscious mind. During a session, clients explore the mysteries of past lifetime, tap into their inner wisdom, and uncover the root causes of emotional or physical challenges. Connecting with their highest spiritual guides can bring profound healing and insights, fostering substantial personal growth. And Derek was one of our grads. Such an honor to have you here today. Welcome, Derek.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here. One thing I don't know if I mentioned during class was that I had thought about becoming a hypnotherapist for most of my life, and it just manifested now. But to move quickly through it, I'm located up near you in Washington State. So I built and own a store called Mystical Wares, which is a large polished rock and crystal store, but a lot more than that. So what you're basically talking to, I use the terminology intuitive medium. So I do have heightened senses, I like to word it as, and I can perceive other things. So I do sessions from that aspect, which is what led me into the hypnosis part as well. So not just the time spent in prison with inmates and the energies in that environment and the stuff they were going through, but bringing it into the intuitive or psychic medium sessions I do as well. So it just was a natural progression, and I've tied it all together now.
Wow, that's fantastic. Tell us something about past life regression that everybody likes to know.
Sure. And actually, it was really interesting to me because it was new to me. I did have preset clientele beforehand that were into the, I'll just say, metaphysical aspects of our reality. So they had understandings of what you can term spirit guides and past lives and things like that. So when I came back after my certification, I'll just call this client Mary. So she would come in, and we've had many sessions now, and they progressed through. Initially, I guess some of the aha moments or epiphanies to me, the realizations I had on the benefits of using hypnotherapy to help someone is, regardless of their understandings or thoughts or how they put reality together, you can have an effect, I'll just say energetically with them. And that's on emotions, because again, we all come from different backgrounds. So we describe these emotion attachments or energies or experiences in different ways, but they can all absolutely be affected using hypnotherapy. And what I'm meaning is, during a past life regression with this individual, Mary, we would take her back. She would go in between lives from there, and then we'd go a little bit further back. And I've written some custom scripts depending on who I'm working with, but no preloading of any story. And so during some of this past life regression, what I found out was, and I knew it happened to a degree because you had told us, but Mary would get regressed, and then she would have, I would have to summarize it as months of experiences in moments. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Erika told us about this stuff. We only have so much time to go on any topic in class kind of thing.
So how did you know that was happening?
I didn't at the time. As soon as it came out, we have consultation afterwards. And she starts going into this story of what she saw and did. I'm like, I'm not saying anything at this point. I'm going, now, how did you do and see all that? And then she goes, and then we did this. And then we sat there and talked about blah, blah, blah. She went a 15-minute story. I'm like, in my head, I'm going, I gave you about 10 seconds to run through that scenario in the regression, although she had weeks and months of information coming out of it. And I didn't say, you're going to have this, you're going to have that. I went in just neutral, open-minded. And it was her first regression as well. So
that's amazing.
Whoa. Yeah, it was amazing. And then we've had multiple sessions after that. And it's just
like time.
There's no time.
Real time distortion.
Yeah.
And I remember one thing that I do mention in class is how in folks who are experiencing past life regression or life between lives where they're going, their response is often really, really slow. It was almost like even from the beginning, I could tell they weren't really operating on Earth time always. In that state, but getting time distortion is common in hypnosis because the brain stops recording time when we're in a really deep state of hypnosis. So all sorts of amazing things can happen. So go on with Mary. What happened after that?
The Amplify Hypnosis Method, metacognition, brainwave training, and deep transformation. Visit us online at cascadehypnosistraining.com/amplify or scan the QR code to get started.
We had multiple sessions, so we've been staggering them out about a week each. We probably had 5 or 6 at this point with this one client, Mary. And each time, of course, more information comes through and we don't preload, meaning you're going to go back to past life A, B, or C. We just see where she pops out and what she experiences. And it's been different every single time. And now as we've progressed, the induction phase goes so much quicker now. It's almost instantaneous. Okay. And those are some of the tells I can get to tell whether, again, back here in my hypnosis chair, whether that person has reached certain levels or whatnot. So that's really interesting, especially as I start to get the tells from particular clients. So
one thing that I think is really interesting is that most humans haven't experienced deep relaxation because they fall asleep. And so for a lot of us in hypnosis, past life regression, these types of things, people are having profound experiences because their consciousness is reaching very deep, really cool depths, if we want to call it that, and they've never been conscious for it. So they might have experienced that level of relaxation in their physical body, but they're sleeping. And so what I've found is while people are conscious and they're still, it might be close to sleep, right? That might be why her physical body was kicking and having energetic movement through it, but she was still there with you. And so the physical aspect of it is so tremendous because many clients really need like the pause or reset button on their physical body. But then when they're physically present for it, meaning they're consciously present for it, and they can actually feel a sense of transcendent calm or tranquility or something in their body that they really haven't experienced maybe forever or a very long time. But now they're conscious of it. Now they can actually feel that peace, right? So somebody who might have experienced chronic pain in their body, in that state, they can be existing where they're not experiencing the pain. We get a diminishing of that sensation of pain where they haven't felt that in a long time. And so many of my clients, as much as we want the meaning to shift, we want them to get new insight and heal trauma from the past, so much of it comes down to the physical body and really allowing the nervous system and other aspects of the body to be reminded or reset, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with this client as well. So during the regressions, she realized, and she would have whole conversations and release that energy and then wake up out of the session without the physical pain that she had from A, B, or C issue. And that was multiple times. And then, of course, just woke up added energy, not drained as well, which was interesting from my perspective. It was
the body's not having to hold up resistance or protect anymore. And so there's a lot of release. This is where we see a lot of our clients when they release anger. They don't realize how much they had been carrying to protect themselves, right? Wow, I didn't realize that was so heavy. But they get rid of some anger. And in my experience, anger is very well protected by a lot of people because it's really not acceptable in a lot of places. And so some people, especially people pleasers, there's often some hidden anger down in there that they don't really want to associate with. And in hypnosis, we can help our clients move some of that feeling and expression through their physical body, meaning using the unconscious mind. And it doesn't have to be thoughtful. And that we definitely want thoughtful experiences for our clients because we want them to have a new meaning. We want them to realize there was nothing wrong with them. But we also want to be able to resolve any physical stuff. You take them to a deep state of hypnosis, like what you're suggesting, and you invite the mind to heal. You invite the mind to replenish itself and reset itself. And it does it. The body knows how to heal.
Oh, it absolutely does. And during the sessions too, I'll even talk to him a little bit about explaining these energies. They're metaphysical. So like stress, anxiety, anger, depression. You can't show me a piece of anxiety or depression. But they still exist. But how you affect those is with your imagination or your thoughts and your emotions and just heightening their awareness of that you can literally affect the metaphysical with those two things. And by the way, it's also the placebo effect. A sugar cube that heals this, that, and the other. No, it's really the person's excitement that is going to heal them. and their imagination, which is all real.
The Amplify Hypnosis Method, Metacognition, Brainwave Training, and Deep Transformation. Join us for a 6-hour live boot camp. Scan the code or visit us online at cascadehypnosistraining.com/amplify-bootcamp.
The placebo effect, all pharmaceuticals have to have better results than the placebo effect to
Yeah.
be considered effective. So medical science has already agreed upon the effect of the placebo effect. It's extremely valuable. It's 26 or more percent in some cases, right?
And actually, 30-something% of complete healings after surgeries is attributed to the placebo effect, meaning the
Really?
it's continuation of healing.
Yeah.
We are our imagination, thoughts, and feelings. We're only 10-ish% physical. We're the rest metaphysical. And we just have that realization. We can have a huge effect. We all know
you
love
can.
is real. You don't have to see it.
That's true.
Mhm.
I also noticed that a lot of people aren't living in their body. I've had plenty of clients where they've had significant trauma in their life, and they notice that they escape or leave their body. And there's a lot of different names for this, right? But I've found that with a lot of my clients, anti-anxiety and bringing them back into their body and almost inviting that there is safety in the body now, or, right? Perhaps they were in an unsafe position, but now they are in a safe position. So we get to invite the body to relax and heal. And that has been a big part of working with folks who have a lot of trauma. We really focus on the physical body as part of the healing. And it becomes an aspect of peace because it isn't thoughtful. So I think it's a really good balance for folks who have a lot of trauma to do that really deep work, do what you're doing. So what's going on with Mary now?
Actually, tying in what you were just saying, the healing thing, because they realized that they weren't perceiving physical symptoms from an energy issue. So during the regressions, they had realizations, aha moments, we released stuff, came out. So that energy was gone. And so was the physical symptom of the energy. So they didn't actually have a physical injury. It was an energy one. So what's wrong with Mary now is she's wrapping her head around all these things we're talking about right now, having epiphanies or aha moments in her thoughts, realizations. And that's how we expand our reality. And so she's doing that and coming back and go, Derek, what about this? And it connects to that. I'm like, yep, it does.
What if your clients taught you about hypnosis? I know you're a super considerate, compassionate, thoughtful person and are always considering or thinking about and learning from your clients. Is there anything in particular that has stood out to you as you learning from your clients?
Yeah, actually, I learned from every one of them. It would be, I'm going to use an analogy and call the different scripts that sometimes we would read as a hypnotherapist to guide us through these sessions as a recipe. I've learned that I can modify those recipes for each individual and they'll have an even stronger effect, we can say, or be more personalized. So that's been really interesting.
Yeah, because then they feel like we're talking just to them.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no end. So I've also written and recorded a lot of self-hypnosis recordings or guided meditations. They can call it either way. And I do those for the clients as well, give them a custom one to take home as their homework. And that keeps them staying in that proper state and realization and those moments. And Mary's been doing her homework, listens to the recording, goes to sleep by it. And so it's been a lot of fun and interest working with somebody like that too.
That's awesome. I know there was a time, the type of hypnosis that both you and I do is called insight-based hypnosis. So we anticipate our clients to have a mind blow and some insight, right, during session and wow, a realization. But we also want them to reestablish a really healthy relationship with themselves. And we do know that daily hypnosis or meditation is one of the 2 magic pills that doctors talk about. One of them is exercise, and exercise generates neurochemicals for mood stabilization, right? But the second that they recommend for the magic pill, which everybody wants, is meditation or hypnosis because it clears the mind. And so for what most people experience as peace is when the thinking mind has stopped. And so we really need to get our clients, because of the amount of stress and chaos in the world, especially, it seems to be getting worse all the time. There's new craziness happening every day, it seems like. The necessity of taking a break is really more important than ever before. And there was a lot of value in a smoke break that had nothing to do with smoking. It had to do with leaving, stopping, relaxing, maybe deep breathing, right?
Mm.
And so I find that my clients really benefit from reestablishing a practice where they are, in fact, listening to a recording every day, right? But the recordings, like you're saying, especially if they're personalized, can be so valuable for our clients. If you don't know what else to do because you're stressed or you're nervous, and you can sit down and have Derek's compassion, lovely voice reminding you how powerful you are, reminding you that you got this, reminding you of everything that you are, that's going to make a difference. People need that type of thing like in that moment, right? In the moment of crisis. So I like to think about our hypnosis recordings as like a digital apocotherapy shop, right? They can pick one that sounds good for them. It helps them for a moment. And now they're not drinking. They're not smoking. They're not getting overly angry or overly upset. They sit down for 15 minutes, they get re-inspired and rejuvenated, and they're able to go finish what they wanted to start that day. So it's a little bit of medicine, but the medicine is in you, right? Our clients have the medicine. They just need to access it. Tell us how people can find you.
Sure. I have a couple websites. So Mystical Wares, I'll spell that one, MYSTICALWARES.com would be the larger website where we have, again, my store here in Mount Vernon with rocks and crystals and shungite. But for what we've been talking about, the real fun stuff would be hypnosis-empowerment.com.
All right. To put that up. We'll put that up on the screen.
Okay.
Show notes for everyone.
I know I made my names a little bit long and hard to follow, but yeah, it's been a blast, Eric. It really has been.
Very good. Very good. Do you have a tool or a technique that you can share with our listeners? Maybe something that we can try out?
What I've done, and so a tool or technique that I've used on my clients and myself would be what we loosely call finding your heart space. So really putting our focus, energy, intention around, and I could bore you with the science a lot, how there's sensory neurites in our heart space, but you literally have another brain in your heart. And just us knowing that and putting focus and intention there can help boost all of your energy body, which is again what you are. So I guess if we called it a technique, would be to bring us from our thoughts from out here, the whole scattered mind of our daily stuff, and bring it just into your heart center.
Bring you do the technique with us.
Yeah, let me think here, because I usually do it a little bit different for each person is what it is. So it's not a written out thing, but yeah, I can go through it now. And I'll usually have the person, of course, sitting down quietly, and I'll work this into some of the self-hypnosis. But I'll have them
just do it with me, right?
Let's just do it. We'll just take some short breaths in. We're going to find a calm, relaxing space. So a deep breath in. And then I'd like you to hold it for just a moment. And then let it out, releasing any tension or stress. And finding your calm space. Now I want you to take your thoughts, anything that's been happening around you, and just focus your attention to your heart, the center of your heart, where you exist. This is where love emanates from. And the more focus you have there, the more energy and love you'll be able to generate. Notice a subtle tingling around your body. You're activating a love frequency in your aura. I want you to imagine yourself already perfectly healed and whole, and the perfect you in the here and now. And from this centered heart space, know that you already love. And then from that space, Erika, I'll then transition into different, it depends if we're talking past life.
It's lovely. It's really lovely. I really like when you said gather your thoughts, because I swear I actually, in my mind's eye, I went like this with my thoughts and I went, so really good job. That was really lovely.
Yeah, I like to bring your attention to your aura or biofield too. Just bring it in and step by step, bring it in closer.
Well, I think some people think that only people up on stage can be singers or dancers.
Sure.
Some people think that only people who have ESP have these feelings, right? Or have access to this energy. It's not for everybody. You have to have some special technique or you have to have some special ability. But what you're suggesting is we all have this ability, and you're teaching us how to become more aware of it. You're teaching us how to be a little more sensitive so that we can gather this information and walk through the world a little more completely and happily because we are paying attention to all of that.
As long as we all have the realization that these different aspects are, you can think of them as senses and not abilities, then they're not out of reach of anybody. You can heighten that. And we all have these senses, be it intuition. We may call it gut instincts or intuition. Lots of words out there, but it's the same thing. We can pay attention to that and affect our own energies with our thoughts and imagination.
And what I've seen, and I just really want to emphasize this for our listeners out there, a lot of my clients have really disconnected themselves from that, and they don't have that gut instinct anymore. And that's often because they've experienced such a level of enduring ongoing stress and or trauma in their life, they really cut that off. And what happens is they feel really disconnected. And so one of the things that we do is we don't have to do anything special. We just reduce the stress. We help bring them into a place of calm receptivity where the thinking mind is halted and almost the chaos dissipates. And now clients can start feeling like their body again, but now they feel safer and now they are open up to a little more of their intuitive side. So now they're making better decisions, even if they don't realize why they're making better decisions. It helps them feel safer in the world. And so I do think that there is a lot of work for us hypnotists to help people notice that there is, in fact, easy and fast ways to get into your body. Not that anybody's asking that. Nobody says, Eric, I want to get in my body, but
Sure.
They do say, I want to go after this job or I want to be able to accomplish this thing, but they're not fully able to do it because they're not fully engaged, because they're protecting themselves, right?
Yeah, if we think of our body as a vehicle, we got to pay attention. And when little dashboard lights go off, things in our awareness, we might want to pay attention to it kind of thing. Hypnosis will help us be more secure and confident in our vehicles, our bodies. Yeah.
Exactly. And the truth is, just to be really complete on this, for a lot of our clients, they didn't have the mechanisms to control their vehicle when they were younger. And so it was almost a necessity to cut off and escape from their body, right? And they're not really present, right? And that really can be resolved with hypnosis, but the benefit of that is people just start feeling joy. They have moments of presence. They're experiencing like the wonders and the beauty of life again. And I don't even know if I want to fix it. Like, I don't want to go resolve that, but it can be really fast and easy. And it doesn't have to be traumatic at all. Sometimes this healing can take place without a lot of thoughtful interaction, right?
Yeah, we can affect ourselves if we can turn it into something we can manage. So energy, rather than have it trauma or drama that's happened in life, turn it into energy.
Turn it into energy.
Exactly.
So then we become alchemists. We get to take energy and we get to transform it. And I think lastly, for a lot of my clients, they want to know what they're going to get out of hypnosis. And I always tell them you're going to get compassion and you're going to get wisdom, right? You're going to learn more about you. It's going to make you more compassionate. You're going to feel lighter and better. You really want to follow through, right?
That's perfect. Same thing, different way of saying it. You can then be the full you.
Yeah. And then people are happier.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're living their life.
What Mary's been reporting back to the client of mine.
Yeah. How about you, Derek? Can you share a personal experience with hypnosis?
I can, because again, I wrote and recorded several self-hypnosis recordings, and those are available free on YouTube. I did one where it's a connection to your higher self or spirit guides. I stayed loose when I'm speaking because I want to just connect to the bigger me, I'll say, for more awareness without having to look through the filter of this 3D reality. So I wrote and recorded. It was a little weird at first having to listen to my own voice. I'll have to admit that. But after I got over that, then I just sound like somebody else. I started going through this, listening to the recording, and then the same results with Mary. The more I did it, so the more times I got on the bike, tried to ride, the easier it got. And I just went with the flow. So then I would get deeper into the state. And then all of a sudden I would reach a state of awareness where, again, what would often be called your higher self or a guide would appear to me visually. And I'd have communication and chat. But the cool part, Erika, I could smell I could hear, and we'll call them physical senses were perceptive during the metaphysical experience. That made sense.
Good job. Good
But
job.
it was
That's
interesting.
the power of your mind.
Yeah. And I wasn't looking to do it. I was like, let's see what it smells like around here. I'm like, am I smelling those flowers? I'm just having these aha moments or epiphanies myself. So that's one example of what's been happening. Yeah, the deeper it goes. And I just go with the flow and it happens easier.
Very good. There is a saying that enlightenment is when you find the good friend in your mind. And there's a lot of negative self-talk in the world. So my position as far as listening to your own hypnosis recordings, please listen to them. For all of you hypnotists out there, please listen to your own hypnosis recordings because you are the lovely voice in your own mind. You are meeting that kind soul in your own mind. I had the same experience, Derek, but then I realized that my comforting voice and words were a lot better than some of the negativity that was natural if I didn't control it, right?
Mhm.
And
Sure.
so that becomes part of the work we do with clients too, is addressing things like negative self-talk and esteem and not following through and procrastination, that type of stuff, right?
Mhm. Yeah. It didn't take long to go with the flow. It was just going all of a sudden. And then it was almost instantaneous after a few times listening to it. You could reach that state. Yeah. It's been an eye-opening, aha-filled experience since
Very
hitting the
good.
floor. Yeah.
What would you say to anybody who's considering becoming a professional hypnotist?
I would definitely recommend it. And even if it was initially just for yourself, enlightenment, awareness, gathering these tools, learning from somebody like Erika, and then it's like getting in the kitchen and cooking. There's lots of ways of cooking, but some of these work really well. And then you'll be writing your own recipes and then having fun with it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Derek, thank you so much for being here. It's such a great honor. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Sure. The best place would be mysticalwares.com. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm Erika Flint, professional hypnotherapy instructor, board certified hypnotist, lover of humans, and author of Can You Be a Hypnotist? Download a version of the book at canyoubeahypnotist.com. We love helping people like Derek, awesome students, wonderful humans, compassionate business owners, become professional hypnotists and grow and have thriving practices where they get to help people with really hard things, and they also get to do really fun things. We get to push the boundaries. The final frontier is not outer space. It's right here. It's right here in our mind. And we get to be the astronauts. We get to go in there and do really cool things, helping people with really hard things. And Derek, thank you so much for all the work that you do. I'm Erika Flint. Bye for now. This is Living Hypnotically.